What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. Reacting to What's the Deal with Ibanez SOUNDGEAR Basses by Rib 13 Bass. So what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be reacting to What's the Deal with Ibanez SOUNDGEAR Basses by Rib 13 Bass. As always, if you've not already subscribed to Rib 13 Bass, go ahead and give them a sub right now, please. I've also included the link for the original video in the description down below. Please go and click on that and give the original video a like. And on this video, my video, leave a comment on what you'd like to see me reacting to next, and let's get to it.
So I want to take a few minutes to talk about Ibanez SR Series SOUNDGEAR basses. This is a line of basses that Ibanez started putting out back in 1987, and they are just as ubiquitous and prolific as other models and lines. I personally see them everywhere, and while they are generally acknowledged as being good instruments among the bass community, they aren't revered or fawned over like other classic instruments. So I decided to make a video that addresses Ibanez SR Series SOUNDGEAR basses. And even though this video is based mostly on my opinion, keep in mind that I did live and play bass back then. And I do remember a lot of what was going on in the industry at that time. Back in the 1950s and 60s,
I'm going to go on record and saying the SR SOUNDGEAR series I'm not that familiar with, but SOUNDGEAR basses in general I have always loved. Just the, 90s style SOUNDGEAR basses and those that came out later. One of my main 6-string basses is a modded all-to-hell SOUNDGEAR bass. Yeah, it's a Geo series SOUNDGEAR, but still nonetheless. I just think they're wonderfully designed. They're perfectly ergonomic. They play fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Ibanez style instruments on both basses and guitars myself. Big fan.
US was the world leader in electric guitar and bass manufacturing and innovation. In the meanwhile, Japanese guitar companies' business practices relied more on imitation than innovation. And by the 1970s, they had gotten really good at it. They were even imitating designs that I didn't think could be imitated. They had gotten so good at it that in 1977, Gibson's parent company sued Hoshino, which is Ibanez's parent company. Ibanez and Japanese companies responded by either altering their copies just enough to evade further lawsuits, or by putting out original designs based on what they had learned over the years.
Yep, I remember hearing about that. The entire guitar community was up in arms about that, and that was that was something that happened, and it's still happening today. Look at, the lawsuit between Gibson and Dean going on right now. Some things never change, and sometimes the more things change, the more they stay the same.
The Ibanez musician bass certainly looks alembic inspired, and the Kawai F2B practically has alembic written all over it. Now, right about this time, guys like Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads were reshaping the definition of rock guitar and influencing new young players. And Japanese companies like Ibanez were quick to respond to the wants and needs of this new generation of young players. In all fairness, USA Fender responded too, but their efforts seemed a little half-hearted. Yeah. But the 1980s also introduced a guitar player that would have a much more profound impact on the guitar industry in decades to come. And that player was Stevie Ray Vaughan. You see, back in the late 60s and 70s, many music lovers cut their hair, finished college, became doctors and lawyers, moved to the suburbs, and started a family. And in the late 80s, early 90s, they empty nested and picked up where they left off. But this time, they had a lot more money to love music with. It was the beginning of what I call the Bloomer Booze Boom. Shit. Damn it. The Boomer Blues Boom. Finally. And I remember
We call them blues lawyers. Guys that are older that have a fantastic job, usually a lawyer or somebody that has a lot of money that ends up with an unbelievable vintage guitar collection worth thousands upon thousands of dollars. But, you know, yeah, that's what we call them, blues lawyers. Even if they're not a lawyer, if they've got a day job that gives them enough money that they can just go. And we're talking vintage guitars, several very nice vintage guitars. We're talking some real money here. Not like my collection full of a bunch of Harley Bentons and some other custom builds and some other stuff. No. Collections like that.
Remember this time period very well because not only was I gigging professionally, but I was working part-time at a vintage guitar dealer. These blues boomers all discovered Stevie Ray Vaughan, many way after his death, because Stevie reminded them of all the blues and blues rock guitar greats that they grew up with. And not only were these blues boomers playing guitar, they were collecting them too. And these guys were traditionalists, much like New York Yankees baseball fans. The Yankees baseball pinstripe uniforms haven't changed in 70 years because Yankee fans would have a cow over it. Not to mention that the Yankees have retired so many uniform numbers that they're going to have to use punctuation marks soon. Well, blues boomers were traditionalists just like that, and they wanted no part of locking systems and shredding. They wanted traditional guitars and classic amps. And American guitar companies caught on to this fast. I remember working at the vintage guitar shop one day, and they had gotten in a very high-priced Marilyn Monroe commemorative Stratocaster. To me, it was obvious that this commemorative Strat was aimed at guitar collectors and not at working players. Much in the same way that the post office used to distribute commemorative stamps aimed at philatelists. And that's when it really dawned on me that Fender was now catering to these collectors who can afford these instruments instead of the working musicians.
Where did I hear before that somebody said, and maybe it was a video that I even reacted to, but, you know, old man memory takes place, that, you know, Gibson and Fender, they're now lifestyle brands. They're, you know, it's like the same idea as, like, you know, Gucci and Prada and whatever the other name brands are for, like, clothing and perfume and hoity-toity stuff that, you know, influencers and like and whatnot. But yeah, it's more of a lifestyle brand than anything else because, yeah, they're absolutely not aiming that towards working class musicians. Not with those prices. No.
And who can blame them? I was a working musician back then. I was always broke. And what does any of this have to do with Ibanez SR Series sound gear basses? Well, it has everything to do with Ibanez SR Series sound gear basses. Because since 1987, SR Series sound gear basses have been untouched by any of this retroactive thinking. It's a line of instruments dedicated to the evolution and innovation of the bass guitar. And the sound gear is a platform, not a model. Nobody ever says, gee, your bass sounds like a sound gear, because sound gear basses are a constantly evolving format. They start by evolving the old slab style bodies into sleek, sexy, ergonomic ones. And they made the necks thin, fast, and easily playable. And the format is open.
The neck on a sound gear bass is like no neck around. Super nice, super thin, super fast. Unbelievably good playing bass necks. Crazy good.
To welcome any new trends or evolutions along the way. The first 1987 sound gear had a PJ pickup configuration, a very popular choice in the 1980s. But some had this configuration, others have this configuration, and a lot of them have this configuration. Some had DiMarzios, some had Bartolini's, and some have Nordis. Some have this type of bridge, others have this type of bridge. Some are fretted like this, some are fretted like this, some are fretless, and one version has a little bit of both. If anybody wants a good gauge on what's going on new and exciting in the bass world, all you have to do is see what's going on with Ibanez sound gears. I'm Rib13. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. A big thanks to my Patreon supporters, and I'll see you next time.
There we have it. That is reacting to What's the Deal with Ibanez Sound Gear Basses by Rib13 Bass. Again, if you haven't already subscribed to Rib13 Bass, go and give him a sub right now. I've also included the link for the original video in the description down below. Please go and click on that and give that a like as well. And on this video, my video, leave a comment on what you'd like to see me reacting to next. Thanks for checking out this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, click the notification bell, like, comment, and share. It doesn't cost a thing and would really help out the channel. Also, please subscribe to my other channel, GK Mac Music, for some live looping live streams with a side of jackassery, some original music, and some short content, also with a side of jackassery. If you'd like to help out the channel financially, you can buy some merch at the merch store, or you can become a channel member. As always, everyone, thanks so much for your continued support. Do what makes you happy.